Lonely Attack on the Different World. Web Novel, Chapter 162. I keep falling for traps, but since those are traps, it's too late when you notice them. Day 51, Night, Dungeon. I killed the greatest menace, the Great Dungeon. I exterminated the most terrifying evil forest. I blocked the worst war. The last issue, the dungeons, are slowly being resolved as I go around killing them off. I actually ended up thinking that things are going well. I thought that I somehow have the dangers of the other world under control. That is conceit. I took things too lightly, thinking that even if I'm weak, if I make the frontier safe, everyone else will become strong in the meantime. However, if I went to that 60th floor with the Prez and everyone, someone would have most certainly died. And if I tried to protect them, we could have been completely annihilated. This fantasy world is still the worst thing possible all the same. It was because the other two were a dungeon emperor and master duo that they managed to obliterate everything in sight and protect me. Because we can't protect, we had to opt for an endless carnage. They could pull it off because they had one person only to protect. That thing was dangerous. I still can't think of any other way to kill it aside from a nuclear disintegration. In other words, any party would have been annihilated. As I thought, exploration should be kept to the first 49 floors. Everything beyond that shouldn't be dared until taking level 100. Otherwise, it is way too impossible. Everyone should get drastically stronger after getting to level 100, but even so, it still might be too dangerous to challenge a level 100 dungeon master, even with everyone fighting together. And with the possible existence of other special dungeon masters, like the Sand Giant, it is too risky. I can think of it all I want, but there's no way to counter this at the moment, and I'm also hungry. A strange, extreme feeling of hunger. If it is because I am running out of mana, then that atomic vibration is very dangerous. If I manage to exhaust my mana, even with the mana accumulator that I thought to have an infinite charge, then it means it was just on the brink of going out of control. And since I kept forcibly suppressing the magic that was about to run amok, restraining it, the mana rapidly depleted. Which means if I did run out of mana, it would have gone berserk. Let's seal it. This is way too dangerous. Thank you. You saved me. I'll have to reward you when we get back to town, right? Well, it's gonna be clothes or food again, though. Or rather, what time is it? Are the stores open? Sort of? Today demands as a reward. I mean, usually having someone completely unmoving in the middle of a monster filler floor is nothing other than a nuisance. Even so, they protected me to the end. If it was me, I'd kick that guy and undoubtedly proceed to stomp on him. I have full confidence in that. Yes, this calls for a reward. It turned into a proper magic stone. I was worried that it might turn into a sea of sand green-sized magic stones, you know. I even prepared a shovel already. It nearly turned into a case of public disturbance with a high school boy playing in the sand with a shovel. Seriously. Yeah, if I saw such a person, I might report him myself. The magic stone from the level 60 Dungeon Master. It's big and transparent. This one is probably too valuable as well and will be refused for purchase, but since it will become part of the mana accumulator, it's fine. I used up almost all reserves today, so it wouldn't be bad to get such an addition. Magic stones are needed for the creation of magic tools, and revising current equipment requires them as well. At the very least, I have to make equipment that will allow the Prez and the others to make an escape in case of anything, or they're in huge trouble. Not a joke, with quite a lot of certainty. Wait, it's not a drop item? Since the Sand Giant was a butt-naked giant, there's no equipment? Maybe the Sand Giant was an exhibitionist? Thank goodness I didn't bring Nudist Girl along. We almost got an expeditionist competition on our hands. But if it was an expeditionism competition, Nudist Girl could have won. So, to defeat the Sand Giant, we needed the expeditionist power of Nudist Girl. What kind of power is that? What the hell is this expeditionism power? Is this a precious stone? If it is, Avarice-san might want it. Treasure of monster core, manipulate monster cores? Why would we want to make more monsters after going through so much effort to exterminate monsters even in dungeons? This is just counterproductive. There's no point in killing dungeons then. I don't even know why we came here. Anyway, let's return. I want to eat, and a hungry brigade must be waiting their Salisbury steaks at the inn. I'm back, or rather, the dinner is here. I'm so hungry I couldn't wait, so I was making burgers on the way here. I couldn't endure it and began frying them right as I walked through the town, you know? Seriously, fresh-made Salisbury steaks. Welcome back, and let's dig in! Looks like they were really waiting while hungry all this time. Just why would they sit starving in the inn's dining hall? Instantly consuming everything, they formed a line for another serving. And why did the poster girl join that line with a plate in her hands? An inn employee who makes her guests work. And then there is also Stalker Girl casually joining as usual. Everyone is devouring Salisbury steak set meals with an appetite. I'm too busy frying new ones, so I'm having hamburgers. But even they are snatched one after another right as I'm frying them. Hamburger. I missed this taste. Hamburger was the last thing I had with my pocket money. I want to have white rice and bread, too. There's not enough Salisbury steaks. Hurry up and fry more. This is good, too. Salisbury steak with mushrooms is a masterpiece. If this was sold at a restaurant, people would be lining up for it. No, enough of the lines, okay? Your endless queue prevents me from eating anything myself, you know? Actually, just how many times are the idiots going to line up? They are coming back once per minute. This is too much of a heavy rotation. Since there are 5 of them, it's 1 idiot per 12 seconds. Too much idiocy. I want to eat. How come I only get 1 Salisbury steak after preparing 100 of them? Why is there nothing left? I was working so hard mincing the meat while climbing the stairs of the dungeon, walking home while shaping them, frying as I made my way to the inn, and yet there is nothing? Really? How did it come to this? Since there were no more Salisbury steaks left, I ended up frying fish for myself, you know. Well, it was delicious, though. Slime-san also jiggled through eating more than 10 hamburgers. Well, it's a reward, so it's fine, though. Getting sulky, I thought I'd go to the baths with Slime-san, but Poster Girl and Stalker Girl already went in there, taking Slime-san with them. I'm an actual loner? Quite, for real. Now it's time for an endless hell known as the home industry. Originally, hell was meant to be a place where sinners would go to atone for their sins and eventually move to heaven. But the hell known as the home industry has innocent me endlessly receiving additional orders. And since I can't go to heaven, I will create heaven myself. Yes, knee socks. Stockinette stitch. Basically the same pattern as for jerseys. Jersey stitch. Jersey stitch provides elasticity, but having to knit that was an issue. However, having evil hands, there's nothing to worry about. It's precise, ultra-high-speed knitting machine. To think I'd meet knee socks in the other world. Well, this is my first time actually meeting them, though. Come to think of it, that's nice to meet you. I already saw you a few times, but I couldn't afford to take a closer look at you, since it would have been a cause for public concern. Well, although it is enough of a concern for the first knee socks met by a high school boy to be knitted by him, though. As practice, I started with making a school jersey. Armored Prez-san seemed envious looking at everyone. She probably felt left out, seeing them on everyone during girls-only meetings. However, I had my doubts that a school jersey would suit her with that super nice body and tall model physique, but it unexpectedly looked quite good on her. She was also overjoyed, leaving for a girls-only gathering wearing it, so it should be good. But was there some kind of lewd aura to her? And as I was making knee socks, something got a hold of me, and I ended up mass-producing them as well. And when I noticed it, stockings also joined the mass production line, and were also dancing through the air. I can't help but think that there is no saving a high school boy sitting in the middle of the room with numerous stockings and knee socks floating in the air. He seems pretty doomed, like in a lot of ways. This is a trap. I keep falling for it every time, but it's a trap. Do your job, trap ring and trap detection. But it's too late. I went and I did it. I made it. It's done. No, let's have her wear them. Since I have them, let's put them on an Armored Prez-san. But today, it's knee socks. The reason for this blunder most likely lies in my attempt to change this and that in the knitting of stockings, as I tried to add a pattern to them. Then it was too late. Changing the complexity of the stitch and increasing and decreasing threads, a pattern could be created, so unintentionally I ended up making a lot of variations. From check pattern to stripe pattern, chain pattern too. I worked hard for the Argyle pattern, and then I ended up making these. I mean, I'm a high school boy, and saving on thread is very eco-friendly. I merely wanted to have Armored Press-Son wear them, so why did I mass-produce these too? And one after another, while making a spiral through the air, fishnet stockings are being knit by evil hands and orbit around me. I repent, but I have no regrets.